Hello and welcome to another weekly diagnosis, the show where I talk about all the nerdy stuff going on up here. This week, it was announced that CD Projekt Red is working on a remake of The Witcher, so it got me thinking about what other games would be perfect for the remake treatment. So let's take a look at 5 of those games, starting with Dragon Age Origins. There's a couple reasons I think the original Dragon Age game would be perfect for a remake. First off, it's more than a decade old, and well, in my head, I feel like it is a waste of resources to make a game that is less than a decade old, and that thought will continue throughout this video. However, the main reason I think Origins should be remade is that it hasn't aged very well, in particular, the combat. For all the Dragon Age Inquisition's faults, combat is not one of them. Sure, there can be some balancing issues like in any RPG, but for the most part, having Inquisition's combat in Dragon Age Origins would make the best Dragon Age game even better. Also, modernizing Origins for the new consoles would be a great way to introduce more people to the series with a sequel coming up within the next 10 years. Next up is really 2 games that could be put into one package, and I am not kidding about this, 1997's Backyard Baseball and 1998's Backyard Soccer. Is this one based on pure nostalgia? Maybe. But also, the sports games catalog has obviously become stale, whether it's the EA franchises or the Nintendo sports games. Bring back the GOAT Pablo Sanchez and all his backyard friends to make sports games fun again. Just modernize the art style a bit, make the AI not atrociously bad, and most importantly, add more ridiculous things for the smooth voice of Vinny the Gooch to say. Now that I've had my fun with that, let's have even more fun and move on to Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. Now, I had my fun with Ultimate Alliance 3, but it really sucked that it was a Switch exclusive because it didn't feel like it modernized the franchise whatsoever. A remake of Marvel Ultimate Alliance would be perfect and could probably sell numbers across all consoles with the popularity of the MCU. A remake of Ultimate Alliance would be what Avengers could have been if they didn't lean into having no plan, while also leaning into games as a service. Take the same plot of the original game because it's a fucking masterpiece, make all the different environments pop with current gen tech, and maybe even an over-the-shoulder camera option, while keeping the original isometric style as well. It'd be a blast to play with friends. The penultimate game that I'm going to be talking about today isn't really a specific game because I don't know enough about the series myself to determine what specific game to remake. But really, any 2D Zelda game out there should be remade in the style of Link's Awakening. I love the remake of Link's Awakening. I thought it was a very charming way to remake a 2D game as the art style is beautiful and the gameplay is quite satisfying. I hope if they do this with another 2D Zelda game, they make it a little less obtuse, but it's Nintendo, so I wouldn't expect that to happen. Finally, we come to a game that I want remade more than any game out there, because a modernized version of this game could quite possibly be my favorite game ever. I am talking about The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Morrowind is already a masterpiece of an RPG, but is old as fuck, and you can tell. I wouldn't say it's unplayable, but the gameplay would certainly stop a lot of people from playing it if they tried it today. There is Skywind, a full-scale remake of Morrowind in the Skyrim engine being made by modders, but as much as I love Skyrim, go watch last week's diagnosis to find out how much that is, it itself is already more than a decade old. Since I wouldn't want a remake of Morrowind to slow down the progress of The Elder Scrolls 6, I'd honestly be fine with one of Microsoft's gajillion other studios take on the remake and even use Unreal 5. This would make the modding scene for this remake not as prevalent, but I think it would unquestionably result in a higher quality game. Save the modding for The Elder Scrolls 6. All this being said, a modernized combat system with the same story, world, and RPG systems that made the original so great would without a doubt culminate into something special. That is all for this week's diagnosis. Let me know what game you think would be perfect for the remake treatment. Like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.
Sweet as candy, I tell ya. I like candy. Everybody likes candy. That's why Halloween is such a popular holiday.